The next item is to review the recommendation of reallocating resources for staff development. And I guess, Mrs. Zardi, do you want to speak to that?
Yes. As you know, we've been running the leadership program in the district for 5 years. And we set the dates for this school year. One of the changes that we made to reduce costs in that program was to run the program over the course of 2 school years, starting in March and then running through November or late October with a number of summer sessions. And part of the reason that change took place, besides trying to cut costs, was not having teachers out of the classroom to the same degree as when we ran it completely during the school year. This year, however, we have only had 10 individuals indicate an interest in leadership. And Barb, if you want to come forward too. Barb, Ms. Farish is involved in helping organizing the leadership program. We found last year that when we required some staff members to participate, we felt that they would benefit from the program, that was not a positive experience. The leadership program is really something that you have to have a desire to want to improve yourself. And if somebody's telling you, we think you need to improve yourself, they really don't go into the program with the best mindset. So, we did not actively go out and say to people, we think you should be signing up for this. We decided to allow the applications to come in as they did. And you can see in the information that you were given the breakdown of who is involved. And so the cost of the program for 6 teachers, 2 aides and a supervisor, and then a community member, I just don't believe is worth the expenditure for this year. So it's my recommendation that we have a 1-year hiatus of the leadership program, and that the funds be directed towards another project that we would like to see happen in this district, and that's our UWL course partnership, where we can actually, through UWL, offer classes here in Toma that are taught by competent teachers, and they are tied to the initiatives and the goals that we think are important. And right now, those are things like reading, literacy, math, and of course the technology, as well as some classroom management types of courses. And Barb, maybe I'll let you just go ahead and speak to that particular proposal.
This is, and UWL does this and gives us a break on the credit. It's only $110 per graduate credit for this. We determine if we want to offer 1, 2, or 3 credit course. It goes totally on the number of hours, 15 hours for 1 credit, 30 for 2, and so on. This all started a year ago, and the only people that really took advantage of it was our technology department. Now we're branching out. Right now we're offering a course on reading, very well received. It's being taught by Michelle Pitts-Clark. So I see that this is going to increase, and I felt we needed to have some kind of a plan, so we guaranteed that we continued to have the quality in the courses that was being offered. So I'm proposing that we offer 2 courses each semester and then another 6 in the summer. And then part of the money that you would be using for this is to pay the instructor that is our own teacher. We pay them $600 for 1 credit class, $1,200 for a 2 credit class to teach the class, and then a 3 credit class would be $1,800, I believe. So looking at that, I said, and you have in there the timelines that I would need to get all the information that we would need to get it over to UWL, to get it approved as a course, to then be able to offer it. And also the other thing to realize is that not only our teachers can take these courses, but if we don't fill them up with our teachers, other districts can take these courses and we can charge them for that. And I have written in here a fee of what we call an instructor fee of $100. Well, if our teachers participate and fulfill the course, they would get that money back. Other schools would not get that money back. That would help us pay our instructors here. This is probably one of the best ways to develop our teacher leadership, is to get these teachers that can teach these classes and become leaders in certain areas in the district. So what I would hope comes out of this is you have some teachers that are maybe going to become our reading leaders, our math leaders, or classroom management strengths in our district. Naturally, we have our technology one. They're called our technology integration specialists, but developing those leaders is something that I believe we have to do in the district. So.
Go ahead.
I'm only asking this because I think I've forgotten, but what was the approximate cost of this for the remaining? I mean, because it's kind of split over 2 budget cycles here, so we're really looking at the remaining at 12-13.
Greg is right. Right now, we're currently in the middle of this. July 1 will be our new budget year. At the most, it would be probably about another $5,000 out of this year's budget, and then we'd start with the new budget.
So what that means in the big picture is that when we were looking at the Finance Committee, we looked at, there's approximately about $11,000 left in the leadership budget because, again, that's spread out over 2 budget cycles, so there is the funding there too.
And I do want to comment that the leadership program is very valuable to the district. And so we have talked with Kathy and Tom about setting corresponding dates for the 2014 year so that we can pick up again next year and be able to offer that. And our hope is that we've got these 10 people and that a year from now there'll be another 10 individuals that have an interest, so we've got a body of people that would be interested in participating at that point in time. So it's not that I think we've seen some wonderful benefit from the leadership program. I think part of the reason our district has gotten through the last few years is because of what people have learned about the importance of working together and understanding the strengths that different people bring to working together, and that has really helped our district. So there's no question that it's a valuable program, but it's whether or not we try to force people into going into the program at a time when they're maybe not ready for it, and then utilizing those resources in a way that we think can, I guess, leverage more power to us to accomplish the things that we think are important.
Ultimately, both more staff development opportunities. And so at this point, Cindy's absolutely right. Right now, we're forcing people to be in there. And I think a lot of this is also we have 26 new teachers last year, 26 this year, 22 last year. We have a crop of new teachers that right now is not ready to be taking on leadership, being out of their classrooms that much. They're focusing on their classroom right now, and that's what they need to. In a year or two, they might be ready to be able to take the leadership and feel comfortable, be ready to do that. So I think by just not having it for 1 year, bringing it back, I think you're going to see that number. And it might be at the point that it is something that we offer every other year. I don't know. This will be that trial year. I think it's also important, Greg brought it out to me here. Thank you. He always keeps me in line. This UWL course proposal, at the most it would cost the district each year is $18,000. That's if we offered 3 credit courses, 10 of them each year. Right now, we've been offering 2 credit courses, so it's going to be probably closer to $12,000.
The importance of that is when we're looking at the budget, you have the leadership program built already into the 13-14 budget, so the budget dollars are there to make decisions if we want to continue that next year. And then we're also working to incorporate what Barb is talking about into the 13-14 budget also with the existing dollars that we have.
And so just the way it works, we're using our teachers as the instructors, we're paying them, so our teachers that take these courses don't have to go to UWL, don't pay the full price. In a sense, we're subsidizing the cost of education for these teachers by doing this. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, yes. Currently, right now, a graduate credit would be $300 and some. They're getting it for $110. So they're getting a cheaper cost. And some of our teachers need to still earn credits to renew their license. Others would need them to get master's degrees, and some of these courses could count as electives in those areas. So yes, we're helping out in that aspect, but far more important is these courses are specific to the needs we have here in Toma, not a generic of you go to UWL or you go to Viterbo and you get kind of a broad sampling of it. We're gearing it to what we need. So if we're going to put an initiative, we could develop a course and design that course based off of that initiative.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
And this isn't too different than we had the, what was it, the Toma Academy?
Yeah.
That was,
That concept?
that concept was around
Many
at
years
least
ago.
5 years, 6 years. And it was kind of a little bit of a stumbling block. I believe it was in negotiations at that time on trying to get people to actively take those classes because of the ramifications it had to the salary schedule at that point in time. So now I think, hopefully more people will be taking advantage of that because that's not the stumbling block that it was.
And what are the courses that have been offered, or what would you anticipate being offered? I'd like to know the examples.
Currently, right now, we've had primarily technology courses. The first time we did anything with this was last summer. So we had an online teaching course, and then we had Teresa taught our computer programs that we have here, Infinity, Sundance, and various programs, just teaching how to use those programs.
How to get your lessons on,
So
on
they're-
Infinity
Yeah.
and
They're
those types of-
teaching related more than substantive. It's not getting a more advanced degree in technology or math or
It
English.
can be, because the current one we have right now is on reading and reading strategy, so that one, like I said, we design it for whatever need we want or feel we have at that time. So at this point, we've primarily been looking at technology because we had some go-getters there. Now I'm seeing more and more. I actually have 2 proposals sitting on my desk, so I'm excited about getting this going because we have some proposals. One is on classroom management and one is on technology.
This staff development is being driven and drives our curriculum. Whereas if I go take a class at a university, that isn't necessarily directly related to the curriculum we have in Toma. So this is really focusing our staff development on our curriculum, which in return will have a greater impact hopefully on student achievement.
And I think, with the fact that the changes that have happened in terms of the teacher's salary schedule, where we haven't necessarily granted lane advancement for taking credits, having an opportunity to take a course that will benefit your instruction in the classroom for a lesser cost is beneficial to the teachers too, and that hopefully will cause many of them to want to enroll in those classes.
So I want to be clear too, the student themselves, whoever is accepted into the class, the tuition, they actually do pay the $110 tuition directly to UWL.
Yes.
And then they pay a second $100 instructor fee.
Right.
And those Toma teachers that we allow to take this course, we will reimburse them if they complete that course. So that's our, incentive to help them with the course. Okay.
Basically, our plan would be is they'd write a check and we just would never cash the check and give it back to them.
Okay. So our cost is based on paying the teacher for the class. That's really the cost we have.
I was looking at something today, and it kind of has to do with leadership a little bit on Barb's comment, but I think an interesting report to bring back to the board, not that any of us needs more work, though, is the number of new staff we have in the last 3 to 5 years, and to actually look at those numbers, because I think it's well over 100. If you start looking at in the last 5 years, it's an amazing amount of new staff that we've hired.
In the last 2 years alone, it's over 50.
And
Well, that's a third of our staff, at least.
How many students did we typically have in a leadership class?
25.
So,
is what
and we
we're
did
trying
at
to run
least
with.
3 years of that, fully staffed.
4 years of at least 25, and then
Okay.
last year, we had probably 18, because West Salem participated,
18 of us.
so we had about 18 staff
Okay.
members. So, we've
And-
had well over 100
And we have how many
staff members.
employees, or people eligible to take?
Close to 500.
Okay. So, we have provided for quite a few up to
We've
this
made a
point.
dent,
Yes.
significant dent.
How many did we lose that took leadership class did we lose to retirement?
I'm sure we did.
A number, yeah.
I don't have the numbers off.
But we can get that for you,
I
definitely.
don't need to know exactly. I was thinking ballpark figure. Is it like,
Probably a third, if we got a third in the new staff, probably a third.
I would say it's,
I was going to say about 25.
I was going to say roughly
probably,
25.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
Just looking at all the charts that were handed over to me, I would think it's maybe 25.
But certainly that course is geared, it's not only a leadership program for work, but it's also for your personal life. I mean, and by doing both, it enhances your work. It just does. It was certainly, it's well worthwhile.
I would agree with it, and I don't want to see the program drop totally, because I'll admit, I was not gung-ho about going into it initially. Cindy knows that. I changed drastically from that, and I'm thankful that I've gone through leadership. I will say to anybody that is hee-hawing about, do I want to take it or not, it is worthwhile, and it's exactly that reason that it's not only about what you do here in Toma at the school district, but what you're doing in your life and how those two things fit together. And when you get that cohesive togetherness there, then you can be better at both sides. And that's probably the biggest thing that I learned out of it, that there is more to life than just working all the time or doing. And also you need to take care of yourself. So, although after the biometric screening, I'm not.
So are you asking us to reallocate a specific
Actually,
amount?
Mr. Gorder and he was just writing me a little note that we probably don't need an actual amount as much as if you would approve us being able to move forward with establishing, with this plan, and then, we recognize that there are limited funds that unless we want to just say the 11,000 that are in the budget right now, or...
Either way,
if
there's
you-
still dollars allocated within the staff development that if we wanted to continue with the leadership, you could, but certainly.
So moved, Mr. President.
Okay, so we have a motion to reallocate
Resources.
some, or just reallocate resources to the Toma Area School District UW Lacrosse Partnership Program. Is that sufficient?
Yes. I'll second that.
To support the plan as presented? Okay, thank you. So we have a motion and a second to reallocate those resources as just presented. Any questions or further discussion concerning that plan? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. The ayes have it, motion carries, and so that request is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.